So you got, there we go. Okay, so the left-hand one we said now you're getting behind the ball nicely at setup. So that's great. You're getting a good position at the top of the back, okay? There was, for me, just a little bit of movement to that left side, kind of opening up of the chest a bit more. So there's kind of your impact position. Chest is going... These are the initial ones at the start, okay? A little bit on your tippy toes, okay? So you can see your feet there sort of as you're coming in. A little bit on your tippy toes. Then your knees start trying to chase after it. And it's a little bit of a kind of pushy one, okay? This one here now is the drill we were looking at, okay? And I think if you just look at this movement you were doing there, see how you're losing a lot of the angle in your wrist. So that's more of a drop of the club. So when you get down to about here... What I would like to see is the club a little bit more in its initial angle. So when I'm dropping this, if I'm going from here to short club, as I do this, see how the angle's still there in my right wrist? What you've got is kind of that, which is a little bit casty, and that's going to close the club face. Right. So that on that last one where you did it, when you come back in the golf ball, if you let the wrist sort of hinge a bit too early, the club face now is going to be kind of going, again, a bit exaggerated, but if I go to here and do this, the club face now into impact is going to be shut down massively, okay? So,
but when we do, I guess, is that part of doing the, isn't that encouraging being a bit casty with this drill?
No, because what we want to try and see from here is just that.
Okay.
So I'm keeping this angle in the elbow, in the wrist. Okay, I don't want that club to be doing that. So when you're doing this, yes, the body movement is better. Okay, so your right shoulder is not moving much. It moves a little bit. I see how your chest still does unwind, doesn't it? A little bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Even though you think you're not moving at all, it's still, and it will do. So again, ultimately, we want it to move, but just not as quick. And that's the thing. It's too much and too far left, which is causing your path to get left. Okay, but when we're doing this drop-in drill, the angle that you've got there in your right wrist, we want to try and maintain that. Okay, cheers guys. Maintain that angle a bit longer. Okay, so because it'll unhinge naturally. Okay, so as you're starting to come down to the golf ball, just be more aware of this in the drill when you're doing this now, that you're keeping the angle. You kind of do it a little bit here. Okay, it's not bad there. Okay, as you come back to the golf ball there now. Okay, at least when you finish this swing, you can see yourself a bit more on that wall. You're not kind of in. I mean, last lesson you were on this side quite a bit, so you're way forward. Okay, so
I think this drill though encourages it even more.
Because your right shoulder is going to stay back. Okay, so you actually watch the shot with the golf ball. Yes, there's a little bit of cast there with the wrist, as we can see. Okay, so when you get down to here, the hand, this is all perfect. See, your chest is fully opened up, as you will see anyway. Even though you think you're not moving your chest at all, it still moves basically 90 degrees, doesn't it? I'd want the club to be more on this red line here. Okay.
So just to double check,
of course.
Where my chest is there.
Yeah. Ideally, you want it, when you're doing this drop drill, you want your arms to sort of just be the only thing falling, and your chest still to be in this angle. So if you look at my shoulders here now, when I get to here, I'm doing this. What you had was a little bit of that, which is basically just going to cause the club to shut down, shoulders together. It'll take a bit of practice. Honestly, when you're down the range next time, just put the phone on the floor there and just film it.
Yeah, I think
have a look and send it through to me.
This is something where, because like the last stuff we worked on, I kind of knew I was getting improving it. But this will
take a little bit more
to send to you and
definitely 100%. So when you're on the range and stuff, set the phone up on the floor there, or if someone's down there with you, just sort of say film from face on. Okay, but you can see impact there now. How much your head now? Look at your head semi on the ball. Yeah. And that's striking the ball there. And when you finish that one there now, if we put a line up through that foot,
that's
you're on it. Lovely. Exactly. Yeah. Whereas in the past, you would sort of see your head kind of to the side that blue line. So if that wall was there, you're okay. Yeah. So that's the thing. So make sure when you're making this drop drill, and again, you can hit golf balls with it, but just think about the angle in that right wrist. That kind of
that's called lag, isn't it?
I mean, it's a buzzword that gets thrown around, lag and stuff. It's kind of the right terminology for it, okay? But sometimes people will try and gain lag, and they'll go. And they'll do there, they'll try low.
Close the angle.
Exactly, do it, So from there now, it's at the top of the back, okay? If I'm here now, my arm is just doing this, All it's doing, my arm is just falling in the shoulder socket down there. I'm not moving anything else but my arm, and the club just sort of stays in that position, okay? As you would do if you were going to skim a frisbee or throw a frisbee, you'd have pronated left wrist if you're going to try and throw it, You wouldn't have a wrist this way to try and throw a frisbee. So your wrist would be there, and then when you're coming, it's still there. You wouldn't go...
It's amazing how when we play golf, the logic that goes out the window.
Honestly, it does.
We just forget how to
it's
function.
amazing. In all my years of playing golf, in almost like 35, 36 years now, some of the decisions and some of the things that we do, when we put a stick in our hand and a ball on the floor, we just become completely numpties. You're like, what are you doing? But it's like, if I say to anyone now, do this, was just throwing a ball or kicking a ball, and that's why I think a lot of people, when they play other sports and they're good at other things like football and rugby and cricket and whatever, and they're quite adaptable to that, they think, I can just pick up a golf, I'll be fine. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't kind of click that way. It's not necessarily a transferable skill. And your head gets in the way. And I think a lot of time, then more information gets in here. And because the game of golf is a different sport in the fact that it takes a long time to play a game of golf, 4 hours or so, but you're only in the golf ball for about 45 minutes. So a lot of that time could be done with thinking and discussing things in your head and questioning this and asking this, and your brain just gets in over. And it's not a very instinctive sport then. You walk up to the golf ball, that ball's not going to move till you hit it. So you can see people standing up, doing all these different movements.
See this,
and get in the way.
This drill now, is it gonna, even if I practice it to death at the range, if I get a different, like a longer club, like a driver in my hand, is it going to become more difficult?
It would be, I think, I wouldn't practice that drill with a driver.
No, of course
but
not.
You could get the same feeling through that. And I think as a
is it going to help with
100%, yeah, exactly. Because generally what I find, when I'm making swing changes myself, I look at sort of 7, 8, 9 iron wedges in my clubs to use, just because they're short enough to get a bit of control on it, and you can get a bit of distance to make them look like a golf shot. Okay, never use a lob wedge or sand. But using sort of 7, 8, 9 irons, those kind of things, build your swing. And what I find is when I'm doing full swings, I can do on here like an 8 or a 9 or a wedge on a golf course, and it's like maybe a wedge. Then I can go on here with a sort of 6 or a 5 or a 7 iron, it's an 8 or a 9 on the golf course. Then I can go on here with a 3 wood or a hybrid, it's a 6 or 7 iron on the golf course. And it's kind of, every time I go on the golf course, it's like 2 or 3 clubs back of where I can do it on the range, because there's no pressure, it's a flat line. And then over time it just works through that through practice. So I get to the point where I can do on here with a driver, not quite on the golf course, okay? Do on the driver more, then I get on the golf course. It will take time. Obviously, drills take longer with certain clubs because they're just longer, and there's more of a destructive nature to them, But that'll just be something you sort of...
Because if I are just like...
It's one kind of swing feeling, there's a few different setup tweaks, I guess, is the main thing there, Terry.
Just like 10 minutes, just like...
Yeah, just swing the top of the... so do it, swing the top of the back, so stop there now. So once you've got this angle in the wrist here now, keep that shoulder, so then just do this. There you go. Keep that shoulder back, let the shoulder move if you can do. Let your arm just fall in the shoulder socket there. So you do this. What you were doing was this. Yeah?
Was it like that?
Yeah, but that's kind of... If you think that's where you were there now, if we sort of zone this back now, when you get there. Yeah? So that club now. So you basically got from here and you went whoop, like that.
That's my better swing.
No, this was the drill beforehand, yeah? This is the drill you were making when you were going... And this is why some of them were hooking a little bit, okay? But that's the feeling you want to try and have, okay? Keeping that angle in a little bit more... There you go, there you go. So when you get to there, the toe of the golf club now is kind of pointing up and the club is kind of parallel to your target line. All right, rather than being kind of like thrown out a little bit too much, sort of casting slightly. Okay, buddy?